guys, welcome back. This is Melanie. Thank you for joining me on my channel, She's Stitching. Our stitch of the week this week is the half double crochet 3 together. You can see here, I'm sorry about the dirt on my swatch. We are camping this week. We're trying to get out of the city. So this is in my pale green, my light teal, and my light gray mix from the Karen 1 pounds. And I just wanted to show you there what it will look like in the end. And I also worked it up in one of my vibrant variegated yarns just to show you what it looks like. And it does look pretty cool in the variegated yarn. Oh. So because we're camping, there is a lot of noise outside of our trailer here. There's quite a few kids in the campground playing around. So I apologize for the noise in the background, but let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with a chain of 31, which I've gone ahead and done. So you can pause your video to catch up if you'd like. And then what we're going to do, I always like to crochet into the back bump here. So 31, 30, and we're going to go into that 29th one, which is the third bump from the back. And we're going to do a half double crochet. So the way that we do a half double crochet first is you yarn over. Then I'm going to place into that bump. Then yarn over, pull a loop through. We have 3 on, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. So let me do that for you one more time. You yarn over, place in the bump or the stitch, yarn over in the back, pull a loop through. You have 3 on, and then you pull through all 3. So that's the half double crochet in American terms. And you're going to go ahead and do that all the way across. So you're going to end up with 29 half double crochet plus the turning chain, this part here, and that will allow it to fit into our crochet along. Okay, so now I have my starting row. We have 29 half double crochet plus this turning stitch on the end, so it's going to be 30. If you're working this up in a different size, you just need to make sure that your starting row has an even number of stitches. Okay, now we're going to get into the part that makes this stitch unique. It's the half double crochet 3 together. So when you see that written in a pattern, it's going to say Hdc3tog. So half double crochet 3 together. That's what that stands for. And the way that I like to start my stitches always is with, or my turns, is the half double crochet 3 together stitch ends up being the same height as a double crochet. So if you are comfortable doing the chainless standing double crochet, we're going to do that here. If you're not comfortable doing this, you can do a chain 3. But let me go ahead and give you an example. And if you would like a better tutorial of this, you can visit the Moogly blog, where Tamara has a great tutorial about this and why it works. So go ahead and place your tension here. You're going to wrap the hook around and place in that first space. And then yarn over and pull loop through. And then it looks like we have 3 on. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then yarn over and pull through 2 again. So that's the chainless standing double crochet. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always do a chain 3. So this pattern is going to start off with this chainless standing double crochet and then a chain 1. So if you're not doing the chainless standing double crochet, you're going to want to have a chain 4 there. And then we're going to start our half double crochet 3 together stitch. And this stitch is going to take place in these 3 stitches here. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go into the same space that we just used. Okay, and that's how the stitch will be the entire way across. We're always going to start in the stitch that we just ended in. So you're going to yarn over and place in there the first space of the row, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we have 3 loops on. Then you're going to yarn over and go into that second stitch and pull up a loop. So yarn over the back to pull that loop up, and then we have 5 on. And then you're going to yarn over again and go into the third space from the end, right here. Yarn over and pull a loop through. So then you can see we have 7 on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you're going to pull through all the way until there's going to stop at that last one and leave it on. And then you'll have 2 on your hook. And then yarn over and pull through 2. And that is our half double crochet 3 together. And then in order to do this in a row, we're going to chain 1 in between each of our half double crochet 3 togethers. this stitch is normally used for, you know, creating different shapes in apparel or amigurumi or something like that. But in order to make this do that straight row, we're going to keep that chain 1 in between. Sorry, there was something on my yarn there. So in order to do that again, we're going to yarn over. And then we're going to place this in the stitch that we just used. Like I was saying before, we're always going to start in that same stitch that we ended in. So yarn over and place in there and pull a loop through. Then into the next place, yarn over, place in there and pull a loop through. And then one more time, because it's 3, yarn over, place through there and pull a loop through. So we have loops coming through all 3 of those stitches, plus the beginning there. So we're going to pull through all 6 of these and not the beginning stitch, or the beginning loop, I'm sorry. So pull through all 6. There you go. And then you yarn over and pull through those last 2. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1. All right, let's go ahead and I'll do that 2 more times with you guys. This is what we're going to do all the way into the end, and then I'll meet you down there. So we're going to yarn over, place in that same stitch that we just ended in. Pull, yarn over, pull loop up. And we're going to go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull loop up. And into the 3rd one, yarn over, pull loop up. We're going to pull through 6. So sometimes you might have to rock your hook a little bit like this in order to get it through. And then you stop before you pull through all the way, then yarn over and pull through those last ones, and then chain 1. All right. Oh, my son's knocking on the trailer. Just a minute. You should be able to finish that until the end, so I'll meet you at the end when you have 2 stitches left. Okay, so now we're down at the end. So we have 2 stitches left plus the turning chain. And at this point, you should have 13 of the half double crochets, or the half double crochet 3 together. You should have 13 of those. So I'm going to join you and do the 14th one, which is the last of our stitch, plus the turning chain. Okay, so now we're down at the end. We have 2 spaces left plus the turning chain. So far you should have 13 of the half double crochet 3 togethers, plus that double crochet on the end. And so we're going to mirror that with another double crochet on the end here. So I'll go through that half double crochet 3 together again with you one more time. So we're going to start with the yarn over, and we're going to go into the same stitch that we ended our last one in. So in there, in the same spot, 1, pull up 2, and then pull up out of the 3rd. You can hear the wind outside flapping our canopy. So we've got 6 on, and then we pull through, leaving that last loop on. And then we have 2 loops on, then we pull through the last. And then the way that we're going to end this is with a double crochet. So we're going to go into the last bit of the turning chain, and I'm going to try to get through both of these yarn. Okay, so it might be a little bit of effort because the turning changes. Oh, there's my son again. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and this is a double crochet, so yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And that is going to be the finish of row 2. I'll be right back. Okay, so to start off row 3, we're going to chain 2 and then turn. And then this whole row all the way across is going to be a row of half double crochets. So we're going to skip that first space because we're going to count the turning chain, and we're going to go into the second space and do our first half double crochet of this row. There we go. And then you're also going to want to place them in each stitch all the way across. So even these chain 1 spaces are going to want to have a half double crochet in them, which makes it a little bit difficult to go into those chain spaces, but that's what's going to keep our holes from becoming too big. So we're going to go all the way across with the half double crochets. So you'll have 29 half double crochets plus the turning chain will equal 30, and I will meet you at the other side just to make sure that you have the beginning and ends of our row, because this pattern will be repeating row 2 and row 3 the whole rest of the way. So you can pause the video until you get to the end and I'll meet you there. Alright, so I finished off my row 3, which is the 29 half double crochet plus our turning chain, which gives me the 30 total. And right now would be a good time to check our gauge because it does kind of stretch out a little bit after you get those half double crochet togethers in. So you can see on my on my V-stitch basket that this size is working out the same. And this one doesn't have a border, and then this is our granny spike stitch. And it also matches there with the border already on it. And if you're interested in seeing these stitches or any of our other stitches, you can check out my channel where I have them all posted. So let's go ahead and start with row 4, which is going to be just a repetition of row 2. So the whole rest of the pattern is going to be repetitions of row 2 and row 3. So let's get started here. Alright, so we're going to start with that chainless standing double crochet. And I'm not taking too much time on this because I've been doing them quite a bit throughout the crochet along, so I don't want to overdo it if you've already mastered it. So we're going to yarn over, wrap it around, or we're not yarning over. We're going to pull up to the height of a double crochet and wrap it around so that it looks like we have a wrap on there. Then yarn over and pull a loop through. Then it looks like we have 3 on. So yarn over and pull through 2. You can let go of the tension. And then yarn over and pull through the last 2. And that's the chainless standing double crochet. And I'll put a link to a better tutorial on that. And then we're going to chain 1. So if you're not doing the chainless standing double crochet, once again, I just want to let you know that you can do a chain 4, 3 chains to represent the chainless standing double crochet, and then 1 extra. And then I'll start this half double crochet 3 together with you. We're going to put our hook into this first spot here. Then yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull a loop through the second space. Yarn over and pull a loop through the third space. Then we have 7 on, and we're going to pull through the first 6. So yarn over and pull through those 6, leaving the last one on there. Then yarn over, pull through 2, and chain 1. So I just wanted to show you that edge stitch, and remember when we go to start our next one, we're going to have a chain 1, and then we're going to go into that same stitch that we just ended with. I'll do that one time with you. So, then pull through 6. Oops. Sometimes that happens. Then I'll give it a little rock. And then you end up with 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2, and then do a chain 1. All right. So I will do this row with you as I'm talking, and then when we get to the end, I'll show you just the end one more time to make sure that you have everything you need. So as I mentioned before, the rest of the pattern is just going to be, I got a little bit of a yarn tangle here. The rest of your pattern is going to be a repetition of rows 2 and 3. So you can do that the whole way across, or the whole way up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I did end up with 14 in order to get the height of our other squares. My stitches tend to be a little bit shorter. So whatever works for you is how many rows you're going to want to do. And chain 1. So at this point, I'd like to tell my new viewers that we have a group on Facebook that is doing this crochet along together. I'm releasing my squares every week. So if you're just joining us now, that's okay. You can do the squares in any order that you want. And you don't have to worry about being behind. There's a lot of people still joining the crochet along. We're just using that medium size 4 yarn. 3. So the name of our crochet group on Facebook is Just Another Crochet Group, and I will include the link to that group in in the video description, so you can check that out. I also have an Instagram, TikTok, and a Tumblr where I'm sharing stuff that I'm working on. And it's best if you subscribe to these videos so that you can find all of them in the future. I have gone back. Oops, I almost did that wrong. We want to make sure that we're going into that same stitch that we ended in. I have gone back through some of my stitches and made some very cute bowls for my son that just turned 10 months old. I've been making some little bowls for him. I'll show them in just a second here. I went back and used some of the stitches that we've already done. One of them was including this basket V-stitch, and I love the way it turned out. And I hopefully will be working up a pattern for those soon. My little man has been playing with them. They are outside in a tent right now, but I'll share those with you guys in just a second here. Alright, so now we got to the end and we have 3 spaces left. So we're going to do our last half double crochet 3 together in these 3 spaces. The one we just ended in, and these 2, and then we'll have 1 stitch at the end for the double crochet. 2, 3, pull through 6, pull through 2, and then into that turning chain, 1 loop. Oops. It's always a little bit hard to get into that turning chain, isn't it? I want to get through both of those pieces. There we go. And then it's a double crochet in that last stitch. My goodness. Okay, and then you can see we have the first 4 rows, and it's a good time if you know to remember to make sure your gauge is staying okay. This is with the 4mm hook. Let me go grab those bowls so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll be right back. These are my little stacking bowls I was talking about for my little one to play with. So this was our diamond trellis stitch, which looks, I think, pretty cool in a basket or bowl shape. And then the star stitch in this yellow goldenrod. It's a goldenrod from Super Saver yarn. And then this was the basket V stitch, which is this one here in the background. And then the inside was Karen Simply Soft red in the cluster stitch. So these are fun, and I'm really happy I've been learning all these new stitches. It's a nice texture. My son loves to fill with them and play with them, throw them at me and that kind of stuff. So I hope that you enjoy this new double crochet or half double crochet 3 together. Like I said, if you have any questions, please comment down below. And if you'd like to join our Facebook or me on my other platforms, that would be fun to see what I'm working through. And I hope to see you next week. And if anyone asks where I am, until then, just tell them she's stitching.